What if the ocean you swam in today wasn't home to sharks and whales but living dinosaurs? Imagine diving beneath the waves and seeing a Mosasaurus rise from the deep, its jaws wider than a car. You wouldn't just be swimming in the ocean, you'd be staring into the abyss of a prehistoric nightmare. Today we're diving deep into a world where ancient monsters aren't relics of the past, but very much alive. The idea that dinosaurs once roamed the earth is well established, but what many don't realize is that the earth was largely underwater back then. The land masses we see today were mostly submerged, leaving only tiny pieces of dry land above the surface. In this primordial soup of water and early life forms, strange creatures evolved that weren't quite dinosaurs, but ruled the seas nonetheless. Creatures like the Mosasaurs. These ferocious beasts were the stuff of nightmares, gigantic marine reptiles that grew to astonishing sizes. At their peak during the Cretaceous period, Mosasaurs were true apex predators. They had teeth like daggers and jaws that could easily crush bones. Their powerful tails propelled them through the water with ease, making them deadly hunters and terrifying sights to behold. The ichthyosaurs were another group of large marine reptiles that thrived during the Mesozoic era. They were well adapted for life in the water, resembling dolphins in their sleek, streamlined bodies. Their huge eyes suggested they were perfectly adapted for hunting in the depths of the ocean. But it was the Plesiosaurs that truly captured the imagination. These bizarre creatures had long necks that resembled those of giraffes and humps like camels. Their paddle-shaped flippers and powerful tails helped them navigate the water with grace. These creatures were the rulers of the ancient seas, feasting on fish and smaller marine creatures. For millions of years, the ocean depths were their domain. However, around 66 million years ago, a cataclysmic event shook the planet, an asteroid impact that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs on land. But here's the twist. It seems the oceans weren't affected in the same way. The Mosasaurs, ichthyosaurs, and plesiosaurs survived. Why? We don't know for sure, but some scientists believe that perhaps the impact wasn't quite as catastrophic in the open ocean as it was on land. After all, the water would have absorbed much of the impact energy and the effects would have been less immediate. Others suggest that these creatures simply lived in deeper, more stable parts of the ocean, far from the impact zone. It's this survival that brings us to today's question. What if the ocean dinosaurs, the Mosasaurs, Plesiosaurs, and ichthyosaurs, hadn't gone extinct? Instead, they're swimming around somewhere in our oceans today. Now let's paint a picture of how our world would look if these aquatic monsters were sharing our seas. First off, humanity's relationship with the ocean would change dramatically. Swimming, sunbathing at the beach, kayaking, or sailing, every activity we enjoy near the water would become a risky gamble. The ocean would cease to be a playground and become a battleground. Imagine the daily commute to work taking a turn for the worse. As you approach the shore, the rhythmic crashing of waves is replaced by the unsettling sight of enormous creatures breaking the surface. You're face to face with a Mosasaurus. Its massive head emerges from the water, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. The ground shakes as the creature dives back down, disappearing into the murky depths. Fishing would become a perilous task, and nets would be ripped to shreds by creatures like the giant prehistoric squid, the kraken, which are believed to exist in the deep sea. Boats would be capsized and swallowed by the colossal depths as if they were mere toys. Coastal cities would be under constant threat. The ocean, once a source of wonder and recreation, now poses a daily danger. Many coastal communities might even be forced to abandon their homes, adding new definitions to the term coastal erosion. But it's not just humans who'd be at risk. Today's ocean giants, the blue whale, the sperm whale, and the great white shark, would be in grave danger. In the past, these animals were simply outcompeted by their larger cousins. Today, they'd be hunted. A full-grown sperm whale can reach lengths of up to 60 feet and weigh over 100 tons, yet it would be dwarfed by the massive Mosasaurus, which could grow up to an astonishing 50 feet long. and the mighty great white shark, the king of the modern oceans, would become prey. In this clash of titans, entire marine ecosystems would be thrown into chaos. Many species we know today might go extinct, unable to compete with the behemoths from the past. The oceans would become a battleground for survival. Oceanic dinosaurs wouldn't just impact the marine ecosystem, they'd shake the global economy. The shipping industry would collapse as trade routes became too dangerous to navigate. Container ships, oil tankers, and cruise liners would be at the mercy of these gigantic creatures. Even naval vessels would be threatened, forcing countries to rethink their maritime strategies. Coastal economies dependent on tourism would be devastated. No one would want to visit beaches where monstrous reptiles lurked. Coastal towns that once bustled with tourists would become ghost towns overnight. The fishing industry would collapse as entire fleets of fishing boats would be destroyed by these massive predators. But humanity is a tenacious species. We've faced many challenges, and we always seem to find a way to adapt. If the ocean dinosaurs had survived, we would have developed advanced sonar systems to detect them, perhaps even building submarines to explore the depths and seek them out. Many of these creatures are believed to have lived in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean where sunlight can't reach. Hunting them would become a high-tech affair, a blend of naval warfare and marine biology. Entire navies might be devoted to tracking and eliminating these creatures. Special sonar grids would be set up across the oceans to detect their movements. But here's the question. Would we choose to destroy these creatures or preserve them? Would we attempt to study these ancient beings or hunt them to extinction? Perhaps we'd opt for a combination of both. As a species, we tend to be fascinated by danger. If these creatures were somehow contained and kept away from human interaction, they would likely become the stars of marine parks. Imagine visiting an underwater park and seeing a Plesiosaurus glide past you in a huge aquarium. It would be both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Scientists would be able to study them, hopefully learning more about the prehistoric world and possibly discovering new ways to understand the evolution of life on Earth. And what about the size of these creatures? Modern-day Mosasaurs could grow to incredible lengths, perhaps exceeding 50 feet. That's longer than a school bus. To put this into perspective, the largest animal alive today, the blue whale, can grow to around 100 feet in length, about the length of a tennis court. The biggest challenge would be containing these massive animals. Fences, cages, and even containment domes would be explored. The idea of corralling such immense creatures would push engineering and technology to its limits. If the ocean dinosaurs had survived, our world would be vastly different. They would dominate the headlines, shape our relationship with the ocean, and test the boundaries of our scientific understanding. They would be the ultimate challenge, the final boss of the natural world. Some might argue that these creatures shouldn't be brought back. They were only able to thrive due to a series of very specific circumstances that no longer exist. Reintroducing them could cause irreversible damage to the delicate balance of our oceans. Others, however, would champion the cause, believing that if humanity could find a way to coexist with these magnificent creatures, it would be worth it. So here's the question for you. What would you do if the ocean dinosaurs were swimming in our seas today? Would you study them, fear them, or try to destroy them? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Every voice matters, so please leave a comment with your thoughts or any interesting facts you'd like to share. Together, we can make this channel even better. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious